So it might seem like deja vu, but we are facing another government shutdown, guys, in the next 2 days. That is right. They have until September 30th to come to an agreement on the budget, which will take effect. The 2024 fiscal year starts October 1st for the government. About 30% of government spending has been approved, which means there could be some consequences for you and I if it comes to a government shutdown. That is what we're going to be looking at in today's video. Now, the first one, guys, federal workers could be furloughed or paid late. So if you're like a majority of Americans, almost 46%, you're really reliant on paycheck to paycheck to cover those bills. If you're a federal worker and now you're being furloughed, or you're going to be paid once Congress comes to an agreement, that means it could be paid late, and resulting in late payments on mortgages, late payments on auto loans, getting behind with over 2 million federal employees currently within the United States. Again, they are told to stay home without pay, or they are forced to work without pay if they are essential workers or expected workers. That's kind of what we've seen before. And then, of course, that means that good credit or credit card could be very hard to pay. Think of your personal situation, guys. For a majority of us, if you couldn't last a month, 2, 3, let's say this went on for 6 months, it would be absolutely detrimental to any federal workers with the shutdown just extending past, probably a couple weeks, to be honest. On this channel, I make videos about finance, investing, making money, financial literacy, because I know I can educate people on being financial free within their life. If you like the content that I provide, please consider subscribing to the channel to help us increase our reach and help other individuals. Number 2, benefits might be disrupted. Now, Social Security, of course, is not going to be affected with this. It is exempt. It is considered one of the necessities, again, that we have in America. Social Security benefits are mandatory government spending. There is no difference. You will get your Social Security benefits. However, when you look at SNAP programs, when you look at Section 8 housing, when you look at veterans benefits, most of those are going to be cut off immediately when it comes to the government shutdown. Also, when you look at new loans, when you look at Small Business Administration, it freezes them in their entirety. So if you're a business looking for a loan, if you're a recipient of SNAP, Section 8 housing, or veterans benefits, they could be reduced or they could be frozen momentarily with the government shutdown. Now, third one, guys, student loan borrowers may get a skeletal to no customer service. That is right, guys. Not only in October are we restarting the federal loan repayments, which is kind of crazy. It is going to go in conjunction with, if the government shuts down, if you need help getting your application completed, if you have questions about those federal loans, chances are you're not going to be able to talk to anyone because the individuals that are there could be refurloughed. So if there's confusion about the repayment process, if you're looking to really start, because of course, payment stopped March of 2020. That is right, guys. We have seen 3.5 years of no student loan payments in its entirety, which means a lot of the servicers could be affected with any of the government loans. And also, depending on where your loan is, who it is through, possibly couldn't get service. Again, we don't know if the government does shut down and if the government does shut down for an extended amount of time. Next one we look at, guys, is travelers could see flight delays and closed attractions nationwide. That is right. When you look at federal and state parks, a lot of those could be affected with the government shutdown because it kind of rolls downhill in some places. But when you look at some of the, again, essential workers, there are a few that are and should largely be avoided because there are a few that they consider that are essential. However, some TSA agents and air traffic controllers did not report to work or are not required to report to work, even though some of it is mandatory. Now, there are, of course, positions that are going to be required to report to work. But when you look at national parks, when you look at museums, galleries, zoos, anything that is run by the federal government, such as the Smithsonian, will be closed in its entirety with the government shutdown until they actually come to a decision on the bill that they need. And the final one, guys, the release of economic data may be held up. So we know when it comes to the economic data and a lot of the data that most people make with decisions when it comes to investing, when it comes to the stock market, this could be one of the very, very important things that could be super detrimental to the market because the Department of Labor, Bureau of Statistics, and the Bureau of Economic Analysis will be shut down as well. Again, if they don't come to a decision within the next 2 days, these agencies report data on GDP, unemployment rates, inflation, economists, business people, policies, especially the Federal Reserve, rely heavily, almost 100%, on the data that is provided from the United States government. If the government is shut down, that is right. We're going to have no information at that point. Think of putting in a blindfold and then really going from there. So when the data is released, the stock market will be very quickly to react. So again, if we do days, weeks, and hopefully by any chance, if it is a couple months, guys, that we are shut down, this could be crazy and it could get very detrimental. It is going to make investing decisions, which we rely on, a lot more difficult, and also where the economy is headed. I know we've seen some articles from JP Morgan Chase that have talked about the federal government that we're going and aiming for that 2% inflation rate, which has been the target for an incredible amount of time. But it seems like we're getting there much faster than we kind of anticipated. They thought it would take a couple more years, but inflation is coming down again a little bit quicker than they thought. So it's going to be interesting, guys, over the next couple days on how the government shutdown could definitely affect your money. If you're a federal employee, I wish you the best, and my fingers are crossed, guys, that they come to an agreement, because even though you might not have a part in it, working for the government and having the shutdown might mean you're using vacation, you're not getting paid, you're furloughed, you're told to get home, as well as if you do have vacations planned, they could definitely be affected as well. So guys, let me know in the comments what you guys think about the government shutdown, how it could possibly affect you, and I'll catch you in the next video.